All right. On today's episode, we have being a teen in the 90s, analog past, and the rapidly approaching digital future. If you're ready to go, I'm ready to go. You ready?
I'm ready to go.
All right.
Back in time.
Let's go.
I need transport.
All right. So, yes, today's topic is the 90s. We are going to get right into this video. So let's go.
Have you ever noticed something quietly different about people who grew up as teenagers in the 1990s? Not loud, not detached, not addicted to attention, just adaptable, able to switch between worlds and handle change without panicking. But here's the part most people miss. That adaptability didn't just make life easier. It rewired how they deal with silence, pain, and uncertainty. And it came with a cost most of them never talk about. And if you didn't grow up like this, you might never fully understand it. You grew up in transition, old enough to remember life before the internet, young enough to adapt when it suddenly arrived.
And that means a lot going forward. Like, we knew what the world was like before the internet, right before the internet.
That's right. That's right.
That's huge.
Offline and online weren't opposites. You learned to exist in both, to wait, adjust, and stay steady when everything shifted.
Yeah, things were a lot slower. Like the movies, you had to look in the paper, you had to call a number to get the times. It was a lot slower.
Movie phone, right? Something like that.
And
Yeah.
I was incredibly bored when I was a kid. I don't know about you. Get on that.
As a kid, you disappeared outside without anyone tracking you.
Oh my God, yes. I was outside outside, and no one was giving me any water or food at all. No one even asked me if I needed it. Probably I did need it. No.
You know, it's true. As a quick aside, I remember that too. My parents would say to okay, go outside, have fun, and I would, and no questions asked. Go out. Maybe my friends were out too. We'd hang out together.
You had to find them. Remember, you had to find your friends?
You had to find them first. That's
Yeah.
right. I might, knock on their door and see if they were even there or home.
Yeah.
If they weren't, hey, missed them, catch them later. There was no messaging anybody or anything like that. Yeah.
Something funny I was just thinking about, I've never, ever thought about, is when you have children and your kids get older and they want to hang out, they probably get the parents' number and then they text, but there has to be a day when like the kid texts the mom because maybe the kid, that their child doesn't have a phone yet. So they might knock on the door. They do. I don't ever see it. But when I was a kid, that was common. You would knock on people's door.
Yeah, you knock on the door. You might call the landline phone.
Yes.
Hey, can I talk to?
And their parents
say my
normally
friend was
picked up.
John?
Normally.
Talk to John. Yeah, right. And so you'd invariably have to speak with the mother or father, one of the parents. Yeah, which is another thing.
Is Damien there? Is Brian there? And then you talk to me like, "Hey man, what's going on?" He was like, you have to start figuring it out.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Do you want to come over? I got the new even video game.
Yeah.
Video games or go outside, whatever. Yeah.
Mine was go outside and find everybody.
As a teen, the internet arrived, slowly. One family computer, limited time, dial-up.
We never had a family computer in my house when I grew up, ever. I never had one until I bought one years later. I never grew up with a computer in my house.
We did not have one either until I was in probably junior high, roughly, and but it was an MS-DOS.
Oh yeah.
Very, very basic. Like really the fun for me was the word processing. That's all I really knew how to do. I had a few video games on it. Yeah. But like the disk drives, they look like the save icon if anyone's wondering. Yeah. But they were real.
It was, but like the thing too, like those computers weren't super cool and fun. Like my computer now, I have a camera I can move without touching it. I have 3 different screens. I have a big giant mic. Like I imagine sometimes when I was a kid, I'm like, man, only if I had a computer. But the computers weren't really that great. If you were learning how to code them, you could learn fast and become like, you had to actually know how a computer worked completely when it first came out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I was good at I was always pretty good at figuring out how to use them, but
Smart.
I didn't have any coding
Yeah.
experience or any even the command lines for DOS. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't really know them either.
I knew a
Not until a
couple.
bit later.
I did
Yeah.
because we had, well, when I was in school, there was one computer and it was in our room. And
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
that was like what I would interact with. And I think it really started me on my path, like my obsession with technology, because I couldn't
nice.
touch it. I couldn't have it. I couldn't bring it home,
Interesting. It started with me. It was actually someone in my high school band, and he was doing things with the DOS commands I thought were amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
we're thinking like movie hacking, right?
Sure.
He wasn't. He was just showing like how to change a directory, and
Yeah.
but to me, it was like, wow, this guy, like. And that opened my world. And then my buddy got a Windows computer and AOL.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers that.
I know what you're talking about with the DOS, because that's what that computer
Crazy.
was. And I would go catalog and it would show me all of the stuff on it. And then I would
Yep.
give it commands and it would just show me all, it would speed through all this information, because you had to do that to get anywhere you needed to go, to get anything you wanted.
It's true.
Boredom existed. Commercials, radio songs, limited TV options. And boredom wasn't a crisis. It was normal.
Dude, I was bored all the time. I was bored all the time.
Your brain learned a rare skill, how to exist without constant stimulation. That's why many people from this generation can unplug without panicking. They can scroll, but they don't dissolve without it. Social life reinforced this wiring. Friendships were physical first. Hallways, malls, bedrooms. Arguments had to be solved face to face.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
That's a big difference. Arguments or anything had to be done face to face. A lot of it had to. That's the biggest change. Now it's like you can go on the internet and have a username. Like I have a username on here on White Star. Like I don't, you're not yourself. You get to be somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost, to this day, actually, I refuse to, I mean, maybe a little back and forth via text message, but I refuse to get into it typing. At very least, it has to be a personal phone call or a live interaction if there's a misunderstanding or even an argument.
Yeah.
Because I just can't
you're not going to be shooting.
You can't read emotions via text. I'm not interested in playing
Sometimes
that game. I just won't do it.
They're kind of a little bit better because they don't have the emotion. You could read them and know they're angry, but they can't yell it at you. There was
true. There
was one guy at work, every time, I kind of knew him and I gave him my number. And when he would text me, he would leave me little audio texts. And I'm like, nobody else does that. He would talk it and then I'd have to listen to it. I'm like, that's different.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That is different. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do that to anybody I know.
Moments faded. They weren't permanent. Then came early technology, texting, instant messaging, early social media.
Yep.
You didn't hide behind it. You added it. And here's the subtle cost. Learning to adapt this early also taught you how to downplay your own reactions, to stay composed, adjust quietly, and keep moving instead of pausing. Sometimes that made you emotionally quiet, not numb, just self-contained. And when you felt pain, you processed it privately. You didn't broadcast it. You felt.
I processed a lot of pain by myself in my bedroom, listening to music. Not even pain, just I guess the beginning of when I matured, right? And I was going through the teenage emotional thing. I didn't go to my mom and dad and express myself. A lot of times I had to go in there by myself and deal with it.
Actually, you bring up a good point too. Even today, people have told me. I think whatever, right? But I think I'm pretty easy to figure out and read. But some people who are close to me have said, no, we don't always know what you're feeling. And it's interesting. I just take it as interesting because I was like, oh yeah, that's because I've learned to process my emotions internally.
Yeah.
And I have my moments where I'm maybe angry and yelling and screaming, but most of the time I'm processing them internally and it's just, it's gone.
I think
it's just a mindful way of doing things.
I think I know you're very, you're nice. You're good to be around. You don't lead with your bad foot. You lead with your good foot all the time.
Yes. I definitely want to do that. Yeah. Leave a good impression.
And you do. And that's why I think people are there must be some days where he's just rah, losing his
Oh yeah.
mind.
Oh yeah.
You think that about
Unfortunately, or
people are cool under pressure. You like, what makes you pop? You know, like people wonder that kind of stuff.
Yeah, people do wonder sometimes. Yeah, you're right. They do.
And sometimes they like to test it and find out. Especially if you're that's why in relationships it comes out, because you're just so close to each other. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah, work situations, you normally can't lose it too bad, otherwise you get in trouble.
Right. There's a line past which, at least in a work setting, you should never cross, right?
But a lot of people do at work, and then they're known as the people who do, and then they just can. It's so annoying. I'm like, oh God, you imagine like coming to work and just acting. Yeah. They do.
You're just that guy.
Yeah, and you know, it's when you don't want to talk to them. You know what they're going to say. They have the same vibe, which is usually just a downer or some type of vibe. Anyway.
Felt it. Yeah. You survived it. Micro twist. Tension spike. Meanwhile, everyone younger seems unable to sit with silence at all. They panic when boredom appears. They need constant stimulation. Your rare flexibility can feel like a secret superpower, and sometimes like a silent loneliness. Work reinforced it. You watched systems change, technology shift,
big
rules update. You didn't freeze, you adapted.
Yep.
You learned.
We've had to adapt quite a bit to a lot of really big things.
Yeah, adapting is like the word of the day almost, because I feel like it's something of a mantra to me too. It's adapt or die in every way, at least metaphorically speaking.
Sure.
It's like technology changes, I'm going to learn it.
You know, AI
comes fine, I'll learn it.
You know, I love when people speak metaphorically. That's my thing.
There you go. That's it. Exactly.
Yes.
There you go. Nicely said. That's right.
It's so true what you said. 100%.
That stability isn't necessary to survive. Flexibility is. Privacy shaped identity. Your awkward moments weren't.
Privacy shaped identity. I feel like I've become a much more private person. And recently when I went out, I realized there's a lot going on still. Even though I'm in my house and I don't know what's going on, it's definitely all going on.
See, it's funny too, because even like I do go out, relatively often, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, like when I was out recently, it's kind of even me. Man, there is a lot. This place is jumping.
Yeah.
The city is alive.
The city is
spring, and the city is alive.
You know what it is about? Philadelphia is what we're talking about. The blocks, like you go to the right spot. Like the blocks are alive. The blocks are moving. The blocks are happening. You know.
Yeah. There's something going on. There's people.
There's
around,
sound. There's so much sound. There's so much visual.
Sound.
There's so much everything. Colors. Different vibe. All the different restaurants. God, the bars, right? There was like how many bars?
I love it.
There's like 10 of them.
Yeah, it's true. I love it. Like just even walking down like a street like that, and you hear life all around, and you see it, and it just you absorb it all.
You know what else is really underrated when you go out? The sidewalks, because the sidewalks are not just flat and straight. They're all way different, right? So you're like the way you're walking, you got to make sure where you're going. This part's higher, this part's lower, that part's dirty. This part's got a big hole in it. You know what I mean? Like there's people coming.
It's true. It's like I like to half joke, but somewhat seriously. It drives me crazy. The best cities are cities where the sidewalks actually work.
Yeah.
Too. And here, I mean, they're good sidewalks.
For the most part.
Philadelphia, they're decent, I'll say, but there are plenty of sidewalks that just don't work. They're all like bumpy, and like,
if you don't look where you're going, you're gonna fall a couple inches down. They could really get you. That's what I noticed when I went out there. I walk fine, but I'm like, wow, this is not like where I live, where it's just all like The Sims, But anyway,
right.
Permanent. Your mistakes faded. You got to build yourself quietly without an audience. Which is why many 90s teens know who they are offline before any performance is needed.
Yeah.
So when you look at people who grew up in the 1990s, you're seeing more than adaptability. You're seeing people trained by transition. Trained to wait, adjust, and stay steady. Trained to feel, survive, and grow without constant validation. They didn't grow up slower. They didn't grow up faster. They grew flexible. And that flexibility is powerful, as long as you remember you're allowed to stop bending.
Okay, you're allowed to stop bending. All right.
Hey, that was
good. All right, I had a lot more other videos on that. They're all pretty awesome, but I think we know what we're talking about.
I think so.
You got it. What
Fair,
do you
fair to
want?
say, right?
Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Only that, yeah, just adaptability, flexibility, the ability to process emotions internally. Sometimes there was no one around for me to talk with,
Yeah.
and I couldn't reach to my phone and message somebody. And
Yep.
one other thing was there wasn't even the expectation that you are available 24 hours a day,
You
7 days a
weren't.
week, because you weren't.
Yeah, you weren't.
There's no mobile phone to speak of, at least not unless you were like a banker with the huge, brick, or like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell,
Yeah.
right?
So like nobody we knew, right?
Nobody we knew,
Nobody we
exactly.
knew.
So it's like you weren't there was no one available. Hey, there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And my parents used to say there's the only people who are bored are boring people, and that stuck with me. So I always found something that would amuse myself somehow. So in those
Sure.
moments of boredom, I was always able to kind of sit quietly and sort of come up with something. So,
Yeah.
something to have fun with.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Good times.
Great way to put it.
Thank you.
I would say for me personally, I think it's really funny if I look at my arc. For some weird reason, I can see myself as a like a television show kind of, or like a series. Like I'm like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I know my seasons, right?
Mhm.
So like
Mhm.
if I think back to my seasons, I realized just how much I have technology in my life and how much I pursued to have it in my life, because I say it here all the time. So I had dyslexia. I was not in mainstream classes. I was in remedial classes, and I was very intelligent, but for some reason I couldn't get myself out of this hole. My parents couldn't get me out. Nobody could get me out. I was really smart.
Yeah.
And every time I was around technology, I'm like, I want more of that. I can do good things with that. I'm talented, and I wanted to code, but nobody heard me, man. I didn't make any money. And it
Yeah.
went so long without. And for many years, I was bored, and it wasn't good. I had no purpose. I had no rhyme or no reason. And
Mm.
back in that day, like I would often leave my house and just no one knew where I was. I would go in the woods and go like way deep in the woods. I had no money on me. I had no water. I had no food. And when I came back, I didn't ask for water. I was out there in the world a lot, like a feral animal, dude. Like I was just out there
Mm.
all the time. And that was
That's
dangerous. I could have really got hurt and into trouble 1,000 times.
Yeah, that's an image like a feral animal, right?
Yeah, it was. Because right out my
true.
back door, there used to be a lot of woods.
Yeah,
And now there's a parking lot. It's next
yeah,
to a school. And behind that, there used to be these beautiful, awesome woods that they built the Walmart and the movie theater. And like they took it all away. And it was my mom. She was like, I don't know why they took them away. She's like, those were real legit woods. And that was kind of how I was when I was a kid. I was in the woods.
It's funny you mentioned the woods. I remember the most I have. I was growing up in a relatively rural area, certainly compared with Philadelphia, and we didn't have woods around us so much, but there was this line of trees, and in my mind, and those are my friends and cousins, it was like a forest. I mean, we went in there,
Yeah.
and it wasn't as deep as the woods. I'm familiar with the woods, or the area that used to be woods you
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about, but yeah, it was great. It was like a whole world in there.
Yep.
And like we loved it. Like,
But yeah,
so my cousin got poison oak.
yeah, that can happen very easily.
That's
That's what I'm
yes.
talking about, because I don't know why I didn't get that more, because I was around that stuff all the time. Sticker bushes,
Right?
dude. I constantly was going through sticker bushes. I got stuck by them all the time.
Oh yeah.
And
They're
there
the
are,
ones with those little prickly like burrs. Those
yes,
little
and
yeah, they were crazy.
they get
Yep.
giant, and there's not like one of
Hmm.
them. There's tons of them, and you can get
You're
caught
right,
up
man.
really quick if you don't know where you are. And then we'd always try to find the
Yeah.
water, and then you get that momentum from going down the hill, and you get stuck in a sticker bush, dude. I used to
Yeah,
bleed.
man.
I used to do, and I would come home not wash it and not even get a Band-Aid. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, right, right. Yeah, like if it was like if the in my case, if the cut was, deep enough or big enough, yeah, you get the care and health care you'd need, right?
Yeah,
But generally speaking, yeah, like a little cut here or there, you'd fall,
yeah,
right, you'd jump right back up, and oh, I'm not ending this game. I'm gonna keep going because
yeah.
okay, I fell and it hurts a little, but I'm having fun, so I'm gonna
I
stop the
do
game
I
now.
do think about just how much I went through at that age, and I don't say it to be like, woe is me. I just say it because it's so different than I was able to become, which is now I'm clean. My hygiene's very good. I'm safe,
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, man, I was out there wandering the world and not doing well in school, and I was by myself a lot with my own thoughts and often. And I never had long conversations with anyone about my feelings. That went on like my whole from like 0 to 18 to 0 to like 21. That was a long time. I had people I knew that I would hang out with, but then they would disappear and I get a new group and then I call them and then we would hang out. I wasn't alone. No one didn't want to play with me, but there was a lot of times in my young years, like 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, 4th grade. Those were the years that happened a lot.
Yeah. Too, another thing in the 1990s, being a teen then, there was a kind of a blissful ignorance of sorts.
Yeah, it was.
It was, I don't know if the world or these states, in fact, got more unsafe than it was. I have no idea. It's hard for me to say, but today I see parents today, and there's a lot more like, and I don't say this to be critical. It's just I notice it. The helicopter style, they're right there. They're watching very closely, making sure that there's order. Whereas my parents certainly cared about me. I can say that with great confidence. And yet there I was out there in the tree line, falling into holes and getting stuck.
What grade were you in when you were doing all
that? This was probably like 5th, 6th year, 7th, 7th.
So kind of like
like 4th, 5th, 6th, I'd say. I was really out there and, around the neighborhood. It was a relatively safe neighborhood, to be fair, too.
Sure.
So it wasn't like my parents needed to know where I was 100% of the time. Neighbors' parents would watch maybe or things like that. But
that's the other thing I want to add to this video. When I was that young, my mother, who is German, never, ever spent money on fast food, and we never, ever got takeout. Ever. We never got Pizza Hut, Domino's, McDonald's, Burger King.
Never.
Never.
That is very interesting. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And I say
Once
never,
while,
and I mean nope.
Yeah.
Never any special treats. It was never like I was like a sad kid and like, hey, let's go to Pizza Hut. My dad would be like, let me take you to the park. But just me and him, never.
Yeah.
Never.
That's really
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't get it. We did things, but we never did things like Americans do things. Like we never went to that. Like go to a bumper cars and like have cotton candy. Like that's not how my family operated,
Yeah, because we like not all the time, but I had that kind of American upbringing, at least here. And it was like we did things like that too. Like we did occasionally like the bumper car thing or like we go to a fair, like a local fair or like a flea market or whatever, or very rarely, but we would get takeaway, fast food, Chinese restaurants.
Of course.
Or we go to like, once in a while, it's like a big night out, going to the local Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. It probably started a whole thing for me. I love the tea. I'm like, what is this tea? It's magic. And he's like, I got to try the Chinese tea. And then the food to me was out of this world,
That's crazy.
So,
what I mainly drank was tap water. We had tap water that would go in a jar. There was never, ever in my house caffeine. Ever. There was never Coca-Cola, never Pepsi.
No Coke.
No nothing. Because my mom refused to buy it. Now I drank a lot of time. Refused. I don't even think she refused. I think she just didn't. She just didn't.
She probably just I don't know her, but I know her, but not like that well. Maybe she just didn't.
She just didn't.
We were limited. I was limited, and I couldn't drink soda every day. That was a rare occasion. Maybe I was at a family party.
That's when I got to drink it, when I was around my cousins. That's when the sodas. Believe me, my cousins had soda flowing in their homes. They totally did. Everyone else I knew did. But I didn't even know that was how my life was. And I've gotten older. I thought to myself, I'm like, wow, there was really no like good amenities. There was never good amenities in my house, man. Ever. The soap was never super fancy.
Spartan upbringing, I guess.
The only time if there was a birthday, there'd be some leftovers for a while when the Germans visited. That was the only time it got better and fancy. Otherwise, it was very
when the
basic.
the German food is good.
Man, I'm cool with it. All I gotta say is if you don't know what you don't have, you don't miss it. But then you start to get around people and you see the way they live. Because I used to sleep over at my friend's house, and my friend would have like chicken wings and barbecue sauce, and we would eat we would eat hamburgers off the grill, and like we never did that in my house.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild. Because I remember, you're right. That's a great point. You don't know what you lack until you kind of see it, maybe in other places. Um, a cousin of mine told me a story. I wish I don't remember the story, so it's kind of a shame for this, but she did say, like, I didn't realize, like, that what, say, comrade, what you were doing in my family was like what a lot of people did, like with normal, right?
Yeah.
I thought, it would almost be something like, I thought we only had tap water with dinner. That's just what you did. Like, for example,
Yeah.
instead of, oh no, you can have a soda once in a while,
Never.
maybe. That was unheard of. So it's, as an example, because I don't remember the actual tale, but I was like, yeah, I never thought of it that way. But you're right. You don't know what you're missing.
You don't.
If you've never.
And then, I had plenty of things that other people that don't have, like electricity. And grew up in a house, and I have my own bedroom. So, everybody's got a tale to tell. Is there anything else you want to share about this?
No, just I'll give a quote from my dad. He reminds my family members the younger ones. He says, you should enjoy the time as a child. He'll remind them, enjoy your time as a child.
Right.
Remember, as a child, all I wanted to be was an adult. Now that I'm an adult, there are moments when I'm thinking, what was I thinking, right?
Sure.
Enjoy the time you have. He reminds them, and I think that was great advice, because even now, so if you're a child in the 90s, enjoy it. If you're a child today or a teenager watching, enjoy it.
Yep.
Enjoy your time.
But I would also say to the parents and to the older people, enjoy your children, especially if they're young, because I think that is like a much bigger deal, and it's more important that you realize that your children will grow up, and to they remember. Your kids will remember what right or wrong, indifferent. But remember, and love your little babies while they're growing up. If they want to, like for instance, my son, I today just I'm like, let's go outside, and I'm out there actively enjoying it. He's like, I want to go in a car. We went and sat in a car together for a while. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's good for me because we enjoy it together. And I think a lot of times parents get miserable and they're just like, get out of here, Ralph. And I do too. Yeah, he annoys me. He was popping off over silly stuff today, but I really love doing things with him. They're so great, especially because he's so little.
I think well said.
Yeah,
honestly, well said. Yeah, you're absolutely
and I
right
think
about that.
if both of them can get it, like I feel Spanish communities really got that figured out. Like they really got the family figured out. Most Spanish speaking cultures I've ever seen, their family is awesome. The grandparents, like they're all in there. Cousins, everyone's included.
I love that too.
And they're
I
eating.
feel, though I'm not in a Spanish speaking family like that, I feel like mine was very close to that. We had multiple generations.
Yeah.
I knew my grandparents.
You have a lot of
sides.
cousins too.
A lot of cousins.
You weren't kidding when you said you have a lot of cousins. He used to say it, and I'm like, what is? I'm like, he says that, but like okay. And then you told me how many you have, and I was like, what?
It's pretty wild, yeah. So I had a lot of fun growing up and going to everyone. One of my aunts and uncles was doing something at various points throughout the year, so it was like I had a lot of family parties.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Good time.
Yeah,
it very much like that's why I always like. There's a lot about the, Latin American culture, Spanish culture that I really like because it's very similar, I guess.
I should add that my good friend growing up was named Damien, and Damien was from Argentina, and I would go to his house, and like every weekend there'd be tons of people there drinking wine and eating.
That's so cool.
It happened like all the time. He used to have people, like 60 people in his house, and it was just a regular single family home. It was absurd.
Yeah, everyone was there, right? It seems a very Argentine thing, right? Yeah, that's so cool, man.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
All right,
I love it.
And with that, we're gonna do a hard stop because we need to get out of here.
Peace.